Believe in
オープ
victory.
ンユアマジックサーキット。
いや、まだ終わっていないようだ。
何気ない言葉が君を殺してしまったんだ。隠せない想いは僕の恥、夜の街。何気ない言葉が僕を救ってくれたんだ。愛せない想いと夜の街、僕の話。こんな夜ならずっとこのまま朝は来なくていい。僕たちの明かりすら溶け込んだ夢の中。いつからか変わることが色々と同じなんだろう。何気ない言葉が僕を救ってくれたんだ。愛せない想いと夜の街、僕の話。
And introducing for the NorCal, you know who he is. This is his first Slashback contest. The Smoke Hande Panther. And introducing Sid. He is very good at video games. That is why this is his first Slashback contest. Give it up for
涙の行方や朝目を
And this is the fourth top eight. All the way from SoCal, the National Junior Ball National 2P. You know it's Boo.
愛せない想いがきっと当たり前だったな。気づけないことすらそばにある。すぐそばに明かりが消えると朝日が昇る空、また日が落ちると明かりをつける夜の帳場で。
What an amazing top 8 to get right into things. An incredibly stacked lineup, especially for a regional level. You'd think that some people might be looking to get some easy wins here, but especially for a place like Slashback, right? People are definitely looking out to go and challenge the NorCal specials and try to invade the home territory. Speaking of invasions, I'm Yurker, all the way from the EU. Joining me here for commentary is Perfectly Babalu. How are you feeling about what we're about to see?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like we are going to see some impressive matches. Like, you know, as you were saying, like, people think they might get easy wins because, you know, Slashback is kind of a smaller tournament compared to some other majors. But with Extra, the concentration of skill is so compact. In the pools, as we were mentioning yesterday, like, in the pools, there were several, like, killers that couldn't even make it out.
Yeah.
And it's all condensed here in this top 8, where we're going to have some insane matches coming to you. We have some runbacks.
Yeah. It's a very interesting one. Like, the run back you mentioned is between Daemendo and Elvin Shadow, right, who we just saw playing in that Plus R Grand Finals. So to get once more a chance to face off against each other in the newer game, well, relatively new, right? Of course, got Stripe for that would be something special. Let's say imagine see them one more time in Stripe, but no. Going to be facing off one last time here in Exert, all both on the winner's side. So going to be definitely a storied matchup, but we're going to be kicking things off here with KTP and At the Flip.
Yep.
Which is going to be quite an electric matchup, especially for the likes of Chip, right? Very fast mobile character, facing off into Mei, who at times can just be swinging an anchor around and catch you really by accident and then just lead to a ton of damage. Doubly so, right, with that Chip defense.
Yeah, looks like we're jumping straight into it. Because we're doing a button check first. So yeah, KTP and At the Flip, definitely like some of the strongest representatives of their character in the country. Mei and Chip, and it's definitely going to be kind of dictated by how well KTP can handle like Pat trying to control the pace of a set.
Right.
And then how well Pat can avoid not getting knocked down because KTP's setups and like combos are very like quite optimal. So you know, how well they can play around each other doing this. All right, we're gonna be going right into it here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the main focus for just about any chip player, right? It's to avoid being in a knockdown situation. Because for all the tools afforded to the character, right, the main trade-off is that defensive rating to be able to take a lot more damage than what other characters suffer. So immediately kicking off with a big anti counter hit, already starting things off, trying to get the command grabs, but at the flip doing what he can to just avoid the situations.
Yep, all right, and now it seems like table flip, and the great 6P from Pat there. Drops the combo a little bit, and the clash.
Danger time to kick off the top 8 so soon in round 1. Both players still with the burst available, but that's going to be Pat the flip, letting it rip early just before any more of this danger time damage can really make this almost a guaranteed loss of a round.
Yeah, okay, good stuff with the no hits. Managed to keep the life totals fairly even there, but right as I say that, Pat gets the opening, and this isn't going to kill, but it's going to leave KTP one hit away for the mix-up. Oh, great blitz.
Yeah, catching it a little late there. Definitely saw something happen, but assumed that it might have just been the blitz tap and immaculate air throw there, controlling Pat the flip in Senga for a late overhead. And look at his conversion. Cake taking all the way from that last bit of health here. Take first amount over Pat the flip.
Yeah, like right there, it looked like he was one hit away from losing it, but then manages to bring it back and get that Nsenga overhead to close up the round. Oh, but the JD counter hit going to give Pat the, but another drop.
Yeah, knockdowns is definitely very, very key for a character like Chip, right? Start accessing that four-way mix-up, eventually just vortexing your opponent to death. In a lot of situations, right, Chip not going to be the craziest damage dealer, but just the way and how easy it is for him to find these openings, it's almost not going to matter.
But in this case, yeah, like you said, knocking those knockdowns can really matter because, you know, when May gets these knockdowns, he's going to be getting big damage and also a strong vortex. So you really want to keep up the damage rate. But you know what? Right now, it's looking like it's okay. Pat's getting the gut crush, and he's going to close out with the Beta Blade to close out that round, bring it 1 round apiece.
Actually, final hit of Beta Blade 2, really riding the edge here. So both a round apiece to players here. Pat the Flip not too far off from his own burst. You can see KDP just trying to chase down. Pat the Flip being slippery and elusive, even invisible, so definitely tricky to track on the screen.
And both players pretty much getting their burst back. Pat's just filling it up right now. So, but right as I say that, KTP does it and it gets blocked. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be, he drops the knockdown again.
So an opportunity for KTP, big counter hit.
And he steals his
Soul Snatcher, not like this, but Pat the Flip not deterred, just keeping the ante up, a little bit of that OTG from the Gamma Blade, the chase down with the YRC, securing the air throw, and that is the first game in Pat the Flip's book. And look at that deep side, that's a lot of work ahead of him.
It's definitely, the momentum completely shifted when that burst got blocked. Pat got a lot of damage, and even though he dropped that knockdown, like he pretty much had gotten most of the way to closing the game out. And even now, yeah, the momentum is heavily in Pat's favor. Oh, but a great counter hit from KTP.
Senga getting knocked down, push away to the corner. Not close enough to really set up too much of a scary Oki, but nevertheless finding the next hit. Just like that, Pat the Flip possibly down to that final interaction. Finds a low of the red RC. Looking to fake the burst, but I think at that point you might consider just finishing your plate because this is a terrible position to try burst from.
Yeah, although, you know, Pat is that chip health, can't really take on. There is the YRC 2K. Not really sure whether a high-lower is coming there. The low closes it out.
Oh, and again, the exact same interaction. The heavy slash, flashing, and then causing the danger time off of the Alpha Blade. The Blitz tap here into a nice grip of damage.
Keeping it burst safe.
Pretty clean, indeed.
Okay, KTP's definitely happy to throw out that 5/8 in case Chip manages to run into it. Oh, wow, that was Dolphin RC. This time he takes Pat's burst. Lots of damage here.
Knockdown secured. The Beta Blade baited, but
messed up the punch.
yeah, getting away with murder here. Pat the Flip now. The knockdowns. Getting a counter hit. KTP still has the burst available, but as it stands with the round lead, not too pressed. Finds an air dash, unfortunately going a little too far overhead. The side swap not going to be enough to kill. Try set up for the next hit. The YRC. A lot of information on the screen, but good block from Pat the Flip. Finding the teleport air throw.
See if Pat can recover here. He's on one little bit of health, but as long as he keeps the pressure on his side, he doesn't have to worry about that. The teleport YRC. A counter hit.
Get back. Oh no, missed the conversion there. The close slash not quite connecting, but able to flush it out with that 6K there. So
Always present as a threat to end the round. And like, yeah, it seems like even though Pat's having a lot of drops here, not even used to May's wait for the overhead, but still is managing to keep the pace in his favor to close out a lot of these rounds.
yeah, on set point no less as well here. So utilizing the burst here. KTP catches Pat the flip into the corner. He does get the OTG burst, so escaping. Teleport into the air throw, getting knocked down, but immediately just tries to jump away. Do what you can to escape this four-way, but it's not going to be in just yet. The blitz tap bait here from Pat the flip, and down we go.
Didn't even go for the knockdown there, went for a reset instead. You kind recognize he's not getting those, and instead is opting for keeping the flow going in his side.
Knockdown, a little bit of panic there, but KTP just keeping the cool right now. Finds the dead angle just to push away, set up a side swap. Now just trying to fish for the next hit, but still Pat the flip coming out on top of these teleport interactions. Then the JD to close things out. That is the 2-0 there for Pat the flip. And what a pop off as well.
Very happy because it was really looking like the way some of those rounds were going that like the Maze damage is really going to possibly overwhelm him. And Pat keeping his cool, keeping the pace of the match in his favor, and even though he was dropping some of those knockdowns, messed up the air dash over May's head, but like still managing to keep things under control and close out the set.
Right. That's just definitely one of those things that unfortunately was slightly missing from KTP's end, right? It was really to ride these knockdowns, because the moment you let Chip slip away, there's so many interactions going on your head, right? Already Exert is such an interaction-dense game. Chip just amplifies that to the next level, constantly just teleporting all over the screen, four-way mix-up in you, just blinding you out with options of it, just to get all these openings, right? Not the craziest damage all the time, but how easy it is to get the next hit.
And KTP maybe being a little frustrated too, because one thing he's known for is having very strong setups, but he never really got to get to that point.
No, so definitely very unfortunate there, but we're going to keep moving along forward as we're going to have that rematch that we talked about earlier. Elvin Shadow versus Dame Mendo hopping off just crazy set there in Plus R, and it's going to be an interesting challenge for them, right? Because it's the same opponent, but a completely different game, right? These two characters have seen a lot of changes, especially going from like Plus R to Exert. A lot of moves have been disappearing, a lot of changes on how the hits work and like what kind of properties you get. So for them to adjust and realize, oh, this is what Exert, Faust, and Exert Slayer have available to themselves, we'll see who adapts the fastest.
And another interesting note is that I would say that the favored player here is also kind of shifting a little bit, because in Plus R is definitely a bit of Elvin's domain.
Yeah.
He is like, arguably the best player in that game, winning many majors. In this game, Damon Doe is, he is the 3-time Slashback champion.
Okay.
And Elvin has been at most of those. So, I think it doesn't need to be said too much. I think in this game, Damon Doe's probably the favorite.
Right.
There was a little bit of a power shift here, which is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But you know what? That doesn't mean that Elvin's still a top player in this game too, so anything can happen.
Absolutely, right? We've been having pretty rainy weather, nice and cold, so that might be something that can catch just the small difference that Elvin Shadow needs, right? Somebody off their A game and already starting things off, a good bit of control, the item tosses, just trying to make sure that Daymendo can't start playing for these dandy steps and also just teleporting through all of these items that are being thrown out. Excellent anti-air and just slowly but surely working away at the health of Daymendo.
Yeah, definitely catching him with the 2K. Look, the momentum is going greatly in Elvin Shadow's favor. Right? Barely been hit. Give me another knockdown, bomb bag. Ooh, yeah, that round was all Elvin.
Yeah, both players still sitting on the burst, so Daymendo kind of seeing this interaction is not all too well. Last thing I want to do is also just send Faust full screen to have to force my way across sometimes situations where he can completely just change the way the neutral plays out due to the items being tossed.
Yep, there's the unblockable. Oh man, hits him with the JP overhead right before the bomb bag connects.
Wow, that falling JH just barely scratching the top of Daymendo's head and the paper bag explosion, securing the combo, but dashing on forward. Quick bites, recovering a lot of health as well as getting this counter hit on the next special. Just an instant reversal of the health situation, cleaning out the round. I was pretty sure that was going to be the Elvin Shadow game one, but no, Daymendo still's got some tricks in his hat.
Yeah, the thing about Daymendo is that he is one of the more slower paced players, very observant. He will, block a lot and he will slowly download what you are doing, and then when he makes his move, it's going to be decisive.
Oh, wow. Top of the explosion. Catching Mendo there. Perfect setup for an extension. The falling blitz there. Catching the anti-air from Elven Shadow now. It's being spread underneath. Getting the air throw and a big hits late counter hit. That's going to be the burst from Elven Shadow.
Oh man, the air dash footloose. He's been whipping it out a lot this top 24. Now starting off this top 8 with it, and then he gets to throw to close out the game.
Yeah, Footloose Journey is definitely a very interesting special because of all the full momentum it carries forward, especially in the situations where a lot of players try to set up for their next play right after burst, and there comes Slayer flying in with just a lot of multi-hits, right? So that can really just put a damper on the next play you had in mind with the space you were going to get off the burst.
Yeah. All right, quick burst from Elven Shadow. Doesn't want to let Daemendo get started, but he gets counter hit right after that. Okay, good throw.
Trying to escape the bomb setup, but Elven Shadow chasing him down, making sure that the corner is nice and comfortable with his name on it. Finds the anti-air, but unfortunately Faust does lack that ability to get the knockdowns in the air, so that does always mean that Daemendo can find interaction points. What a drive! Oh.
All right, and then this is looking like it's going to be the round. Yep, but then pretty strong round for Daemendo there. Set point for him. Ooh, wow, what a clash. Faust 2K being disappointed above. Definitely a strong anti-air for him. But not enough to get the momentum on his side. Great anti-air though.
Oh, forcing the paper back to explode in his face. Can't get the free screen space off of an air throw. And
OTG though.
yeah, the knockdown was going to be really good, but had to respect the bomb, and the OTG just getting Elven Shadow right out of that situation, back into interaction heaven, and finds the burst bait as well. No knockdown though, but look at the item tosses. JD scratching from the top rope.
Okay, but 6K, yeah, connecting on standing fast, not plus enough to give him a combo there. Pretty close life totals, but Daemendo is sitting on a full stick of butter, and right as I say that, he spends it on the dot, gets hit, and another free super! That's gonna be a combo! That's so much damage. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
It's a little aggressive there. Ooh, actually, you might be dead from that, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. Elven Shadow still had the burst, right? Worst case scenario, but kept his tools, saw the dashes, right? The screen distance that Daemendo had to clear. Player does struggle a little bit with these longer distance plays, but wow, the 6-speed, able to catch 5K, trying to mash through, but the gold burst, a lot of juice now on Elven's side to be able to just kind of out-interact should it allow for it with the item throws.
Yeah, good process confirmed there, getting, yeah, the big mega mini Faust keeping Daemendo in there. Looking a little rough. Good blocks. Nice, the forward dash out, and now slowly the tables have turned. Wow, great 5H throw OS. Right, oh, and that counter, that was a... Oh yeah, RC, is that going to be it? No, one more.
I think the scaling was a little bit too much there. Saving alive, but the Helter Skelter there, closing out Daemendo with a very confident 2-0 there to keep the winner's side run alive. But I feel like this is not going to be the last we'll see of Elven Shadow.
Oh, no, yes. That's very strong player. We will see another strong step from him again. But yeah, great stuff in that set there. A lot of back and forth, but yeah, Daemendo has kind of kept the pace going in his favor, and even the times when it looked like Elven was starting to get something going, he was like one counter hit away from being back in the corner, basically.
Yeah, and especially like what was really fun on the opening round was seeing Daemendo just try to play for the blood-sucking universe, right? Get all that health back, just to get a slightly more interaction out here. But ultimately, right, the next step after the health regain is getting that forced counter hit property on your next special and immediately just cashing it out into the power bunker, which is going to set you up for massive, massive damage. Yeah.
And it's the interesting thing about blood-sucking universe is that because of the health it gives and the fact that Slayer is pretty tanky with his guts and defense modifier, it is actually an appreciable amount of health he gets back.
That's fair. That is fair.
Gets a couple of hits of damage back. But now, next up, we're going to have Fu and GC Yoshi. And, you know, speaking of runbacks, this one, the Anime Ascension 2020 runback.
Okay. That's been a minute then.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. They definitely run into each other in between that as well, but that's like one of the historic ones for sure.
Right.
But yeah, these two very old school players, but also, you know, the best of their character in the
Yep.
country, arguably. Fu on Coom and GC Yoshi on Bedman.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the matchup between these two characters?
So, Coom is definitely the better character for sure.
Okay.
Bedman's like pretty much everyone agrees Bedman's like bottom 5.
Mm-hmm.
Coom is like ranges from mid tier to high tier depending on who you ask. But the matchup is weird
Yeah.
because both these characters are pretty large.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have the easiest time moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Coom will definitely be doing a lot more damage, but Bedman can kind of put out the jungle gym,
Yeah.
make it hard for Coom to get in. It's hard for me to say who's favorite here, honestly.
I think something else that's interesting to consider between this matchup is that Coom definitely likes to play a lot around the tuner balls, right? Being
Right.
able to control that projectile on the screen, which can easily shut out options for a lot of people on how to approach, right? Mainly controlling that ground space.
Right.
But for a character like Bedman, who can consider like, all right, cool, dashes straight into it and then just teleports behind you. So
Yep.
that is something that Fu has definitely going to be needing to check a lot, right? Either just catching the dash or just teetering that tuner ball right outside of the dash range.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if GC Yoshi decides to just commit to the air move, right, he still has that very threatening 8-way dash of Bedman.
Yeah.
So anti-airing is going to be a task, but of course, Coom is pretty well armed to deal with people in the air, right? Not only having that close slash in 6P, but if allowed, that Shinken, right? If you can catch them with that charged Shinken, that's going to be, what you said, right? A lot of damage that Coom can deal.
And something that's going to definitely come into play a lot in this particular matchup between these two players is that Fu, a lot of his strategy hinges on the fact that his meter gain is always very high because he IBs as much as he can.
Okay.
So if GC Yoshi is giving him a lot of projectiles to IB or a lot of seismos, he will be IBing a lot. His tension pulse will be very high.
Okay.
He's always gonna have a lot of meter, and with all that meter, he loves using the super tuning balls.
Yes.
The ones that lock down the neutral. So that's going to be something, it's going to be interesting to see how Jason manages to play around that.
Yeah, and especially like talking about the IBs, Bedman, especially with the Beyblade, right? That's a lot of multi-hits.
Yes, exactly. And that basically tops up your tension pulse. All right, yeah, we're clashing projectiles here already, and already Fu gets the first hit, cornering GC Yoshi. We got Oki.
Does find opportunity to challenge, and already you can see all the IBs like you described. Inner ball set up, quick little mix, dashing on forward. The patience there from GC Yoshi, not getting too much. Counter trade, does the clap connect? It will pick up.
Yeah, interesting because it's a level 4 Falcon Kick, and I think the trade actually makes Coom recover that much quickly to get the link there.
That ball here, Deja Vu is
His
set.
IBs, dust. His tension pulse is through the roof right now.
And he's still going for it, and just like that, right, next to just having the super tuner ball, you also have access to the other meter mechanics like Blitz, which can put a damper into GC Yoshi's plan. Bedman pretty susceptible for that, especially when committing to bed balls.
They're a pretty strong round for Fu. Pretty hard for GC Yoshi to deal with offense at the moment. You have to find a way. Oh wow, 60th round start. Very fast round start for Coom. Yeah, like you were saying, the forward dash through the tuner ball.
But Fu is ready, right? Checks it on the other side. Understanding, of course, that that is going to be one of the options that Yoshi can play for to get out. Look at the OTG, all that additional hits. The overhead connects nice and spaced. Vermin off the RC into the dodge, just pushing this damage as far as possible. What's the next mix? Catch the low, the count it after, but the forward dash just trying to find some kind of answer to escape. But that Coom 2P is just too fast and very easy to throw out to catch options.
All those corrects aside for him, he doesn't have to worry about the cross up. Game 1 are pretty strong for Fu, and losers top 8, so only still 2 out of 3. GC Yoshi has to figure out what's going on. They say the sheep. That's GC Yoshi hates that super. That's either a mistake or he's trolling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with it from a Dutch Bedman player who definitely likes Gold Burst Sheep, so very interesting to see it all the way out here. But you can kind of see that the 50 meter was unfortunately, you could consider wasted because, man, look at the race that Fu is running right now.
Jason has said some words about that super. I don't think he would ever do it seriously on purpose.
Somebody DM'd him, offered him some money, surely.
We're trolling. All right, I see it.
Oh, he might get the confirm though, because he does need that shit to hit in the air. slowly just trailing after, trying to hit it away.
Look at Jason's face right now. He's smiling. He's smiling.
Again!
Dude, he's smiling. All right, I
Gold
see the
burst.
game.
He has 2 more loaded in the chamber now.
I see the game here. Oh my god!
I can't hit him!
Woo! What are you doing?
Oh my god!
Even through smiling now, they're both.
What's happening to my beautiful
Oh my
game?
god! Okay. All right.
Yoshi, come on now.
Yoshi's having fun. If I have to be here playing this low tier, I'm gonna have some fun while I'm doing it.
Hey, I made top 8. It was a lot of fun, but let's keep the casino going a little bit. The overhead connecting here. Boo just down to probably one more solid touch here to close it out and eliminate GC Yoshi from the back. It still he has a gold burst, right? So, oh no, now she's blue burst. We could have maybe seen 2 more shoots.
Dudes, all right, time for games is over. And trying to close it out. GC Yoshi though not going out of the plate. Gets the task B. No, not the warp. Right now he's got some space. Ooh, but the orange shooting ball. Oh, right, the orange ball.
Going straight into it, but not the worst for GC Yoshi. Here comes the sheep yet
We're not
again,
done
but
yet.
the jump in, the IB in the air, sets up for the throw, the RC for the kill, and yeah, but all smiles, having a good amount of fun. I wonder what they're talking about, but
Oh, I know. We know what I'm talking about. Like, you're crazy, Jason. Oh man, you know what? Because we were talking about Plus R before, but I believe GC Yoshi is also in Strive top 8.
okay.
So
okay.
you know, he's got 2 top 8s to focus on. There's a lot of energy. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's fair.
sometimes, you know. But good stuff to both players. Great stuff. GC Yoshi is very good at video games. He's here in top 8 with his low tier character. So, like, you know, great stuff. Fu's going to be moving on. And then I think next, the last starting up match of top 8 is going to be Cade and
Zwei, yeah.
Zwei not, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and here we go. It'll be Johnny and Leo.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to see for sure, because it's a very defined plan between these two, right? For Cade, it's going to be super important that she gets these knockdowns ASAP, gets into the back turn, making sure that Zwei is denied from the coin mechanic, right? Getting these level ups on Johnny, whereas, you know, it's easier said than done, because Leo is a bit limited on the movement, having that step dash, slower air dashes, and also just kind of terrible jump in. So has to play for a really grounded game, and that's a lot of careful dancing you have to do around some of these sword normals, as well as just like misfire and cancel shenanigans. So on top of that, right, coin just being a great neutral tool next to just combo potential, setting up for the next game plan, right, Oki tool as well. A lot is stacked against Cade here to get access to that back turn for Leo and start the game plan.
Yeah, for sure. And another interesting note is, both these players, you know, Extra at this point has been around for a long time, and these are 2 actually newer players. This is like part of the new generation of players you have coming up. So we've seen a bunch of veterans on stage just now. But yeah, here we have 2 of the newer blood characters, players. Zwei, SoCal, came up to NorCal for a bit for school, went back to SoCal and, you know, raised a scene, is the TO for Goldburst. I think their name changed to HOV. And yeah, TO down there, and Cade, up and coming Leo, and I can't say up and coming anymore because they have hit top 3 at multiple majors at this point. So very strong Leo in her own right. And yeah, both of them clashing here on stage is really cool to see.
Yeah, I heard she got second at combo breaker.
Yeah. And also, very strong showing at like a bunch of other majors as well. I think Evo as well. Yeah, so very strong players here. We're gonna do a button check first to start out.
Yeah, gotta make sure that your buttons are definitely in order, because it's a very thin margin of error for Cade here, right? Because the momentum is so strong for Johnny once he gets the ball rolling, gets those higher level, like even on level 2, it's a completely different character with how the offense is structured. And Leo does have some decent buttons on the ground. You do have that flash kick, but it's really, really tight into the pressure of Johnny, who once he does find that opening, right, notoriously difficult to burst. So just in general, once he gets going, the game is as close to his as it can get, right? There's going to be some very, very tight interaction points, but considering a player like Cade, especially sitting down and going like, I'm going to make it work on Leo, you are going to be very, very studied on just about all the matchups this character has to go through and how you have to deal with it.
And I would say recently there's been a kind of an improvement on opinion around Leo's viability, because we have constantly been having Leo hit top 8s at almost every major we've had post-pandemic. Between like Cade, Lotus, TomTom's been doing strong when he enters. Like we have a lot, and there's been some other Leos too. Like we've had a lot of Leos performing really well from Glacial.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing how far these characters go against each other.
I mean, Leo isn't a doomed character like we might consider something like Bedman.
Yeah,
But it's definitely just like, it doesn't have as crazy privileges compared to Johnny, so a lot more reliance on things like system mechanics. If you can keep it cool, calm, and collected and make correct reads, you know, the character can be an absolute menace.
Yeah. Alright, staying in back turn. It does answer your back turn, but great 6P from Zwei there. Getting the knockdown, Zwei YRC. Good block into the late air dash. The far slash counter.
Oh, again, trying to challenge at a distance, but the coin making sure that nothing happens. All the while, just advancing Zweihander game plan, but doesn't catch the the Zweihander at the very end there for the knockdown, but shoots the J instead, going right through the projectile. So health here for Cade. He'll try to finish off with the OTG, but the P-Finer, yeah, just clearing out there from the air.
Zwei's been having a bit of trouble this weekend getting those knockdowns. Yesterday we were also noticing that he wasn't hitting a ton of his knockdowns. He was winning games, of course, he was here in top 8, but he wasn't really getting those knockdowns that he needs, which could matter a lot more in top 8.
Oh, for sure. Cade is trying to find her push forward right nice and aggressively, but he's struggling at times though. That jump in is the key here. However, Zwei not trying to find that burst, put it in the corner, the dead angle baited, but no punish.
Oh, but that's the back attack. I think that was back at wire. I'm not sure what that was. You got counted.
I think it was, yeah, interesting option, of course, but a lot of risk, being a ton of damage. I think this could be it. The first gate just slowly teetering him forward, finds the opportunity to escape out the YRC back, and still Zwei not in control.
Okay, gets the boom out there. Oh man, falls just short of 6P. Leo does have a shorter jump arc than most characters, and the back turn parry, letting Cade get started here. That could be all she needs.
Yeah, especially because like Zwei is without coins, right? There's not going to be any further level ups. Yeah, that is it. Especially like I said, right? Johnny on the defensive, not the craziest character, needs to rely on just good blocks as well as that metered reversal. But especially without coins, it's going to be a real struggle to get access to any meaningful damage or play right after.
And also has the backdash as well. One of the arguably the best backdash in the game. Something like backdash 5K is very powerful and fast, but here he is getting Cade on the ropes. Oh, but again, missing the knockdown, which is why.
But recognizing the situation, right, backs off, tries to play once more for the sword normals. Cade, however, with the reversal, trying to bait out some kind of option.
And S2 letting Cade get a full combo here, gets a full crouch confirm.
Patience, S-Boom yet again, catch with the Berserker Slash, the Red RC. I don't know what, yeah, maybe might have just been confusing who had burst.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. All right, but you know, doesn't get the crouch confirmed there. And no, that's a little tragic. Zwei managed to pull that one in, but Cade did drop that combo she had because she did not know what the backdash was. And then Zwei managed to actually take advantage and win the round from that, or win the game from that.
Yeah, this is definitely very tricky. Like, Cade, you can see, really has to focus in here because not a lot of opportunities are given over to Zwei from Zwei. However, as it stands, right, there are chances, right? Zwei missing these knockdowns is prime time for interaction. He does retreat a little bit to try play for the longer range normals, but all the same, you should just be vortexing your opponents off of those Zwei YRCs afterwards.
Yeah, definitely seeing some key drops from both sides here. We'll see who can recover faster. Hey, looks like they're trying to lock in. Zwei's trying to relax a little bit. Both these players do have history. They can be a little, passionate at times, which, some of it affects decision making. So course, that's going to be a part of the game as well, the mental game.
3 on deck here. Of course, why do we get the knockdown? No, yet again, another drop, but has that level 3 on the table immediately, letting the laser rip and still just leading in this damage race. Just going to opt for the
We're not
Rev2.
going to play around with this Y anymore. You know what, I respect. Oh, Stingy still managed to drop it. No.
Man, this is a very scary situation, right? You do have burst on the table, but that's the last thing you want to do with that pixel health, right? So technically a small little win here for Cade, but needs to make, yeah, unfortunately a 2-edge check there. This is going to be a really strong situation, so why not without any coins to access higher levels, but once more Cade was only left with a pixel after all of the damage she had to hold.
Why is that point? And you know, I do respect recognizing that he's not hitting these wide knockdowns and going for the RRC instead. But here, Cade not even giving him a chance to get started. Oh, what a charge blitz. Let's Y get his turn back.
Yeah. Oh, wow. S-Boom YRC challenge there on the dash forward. Going to find the knockdown, the back turn, the back dash 5K. As you said earlier, a very strong option being able to deal with. You know, the good thing about the back dash as an option there is that Slayo's a little stubby with some of these normals and back turn. You can call it out, but definitely a lot of times they do want to start around these K normals. Nevertheless, Cade starting to make a splash here, yet another round on the table, but this is going to be enough to find one more round to put a game on the board.
Yes. Both from that first. Who's not. Ooh, okay. Got to figure out where the burst point's going to be, though. And, ooh, okay. That's a pretty tough trade because now we have Jaya level 3. Definitely running the gauntlet here with the pressure. The risk is charged up. If you get hit now, it's going to be a coming.
Oh, and you're going to have to hold all of this. Look at that bonus.
We might see an insta-kill. Oh.
Oh.
Wait, what's going on?
Good question there. So once more, a lifeline dealt to Cade here. The dash through finding the back turn K hit. The burst is still available here for Zwynot. That's why you can see kind of cool. The transport just out of range. And
my goodness.
RC slow down, holding the shield hostage. Getting a very clean punish there with the S-Finder in the air.
Yeah, whiffing the Zwei just short, seeming on purpose to make the back turn parry whiff, leaving Leo in all of that recovery. Either he miscaged recovery or that was a hard call out, but either way, that is going to send Cade out of the tournament. Great stuff, hitting top 8, and then yes, Zwei will move on. That was a good, good back and forth set. Some drops here and there, but they both, were recovering and making the best of what they had.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Zwei fares further down the bracket because hopefully in this time between then and now, he can kind of polish up the knockdown situation a bit because it's so key to Johnny's game plan, right? Getting that knockdown, constantly just dropping Zwei YRC, getting these high-low 50-50s, or even the throw, right? The three-way mix up that he can just continuously loop so long as he has that bar. And into a character like Leo, you can retreat a little bit, try to play more around the fact that the character struggles at longer range, having to commit a bit harder with movement. But some of these other characters in the top 8 aren't going to let you slide with that.
Yeah. Some of these other characters, some of these players are definitely going to capitalize, seeing that you are clearly, we're not on your A game so far, and then seeing if you have recovered yet. But we'll get to that bridge when we reach it. And at the moment, we have Fu and KTP up. It's going to be Kum, Heyun, and Mei. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think these two, did they fight in top 24? I don't remember.
Good question. But I think if I take a look at the matchup ahead, it's really hard to say because like Kum, solid Shoto, right, has, I think, the answers to deal with Mei, but can get a bit blindsided and vortexed.
Yeah.
If KTP can find these knockdowns. Earlier we saw, unfortunately, a bit shaky for him when we first saw him play off in the winner side, not being able to get these knockdowns against Pat the Flip to then convert into the scary pressure and Oki setups like that you described before. So that could give Fu a bit more play, especially because Kum, she has these really strong jabs to try to mash out of these situations. But I think it's going to largely be around the space control of the tuner ball, right, to not just let her Dolphin for free, and then maybe once in a while a really hard call out with Shinken is going to set up really, really big for Fu, but in general, right, it's going to be really careful paying attention to the screen, whereas KTP, I think, just has the priority to kind of do a little bit what he likes to do, just set up some dolphins, set up some beach balls, maybe just kind of swing around with the anchor, and just throw options at Fu to see how he's responding.
Alright, we'll do a button check first. And KTP possibly also a little more comfortable because, as opposed to the previous set with Pat, doesn't have to deal with someone whizzing around the screen, right? Even though, you know, Toon might have some strong neutral control with the tuner ball and her air movement, at least she is not literally teleporting on top of you, right? So possibly more time to get our wits gathered around us.
Alright, Bun's looking pretty solid here.
Yeah.
Dive kicks on the table, so just waiting for both these players to feel comfortable with the setup to get on moving forward. It's always a bit of a gamble, right, with the unfortunate state of the console.
Yeah, it's
sometimes I've seen them like restarting between these games just to make sure that things are as ideal as they can be, which understandably in a game like Xrd, you don't want to leave anything open beyond just like what is in the game itself, right? If you're going to start seeing some dropped inputs because the console happens to be overheating, this is going to feel really, really bad, especially this late and this far in such a stacked bracket, as well as just how strong these top 8 contenders are. They want to leave nothing open to chance. Only what is in the game that they can control is how they want to see things being influenced. Yeah.
Let's see how this starts off. All right, pretty respected. A lot of respect from both players there, but Fu does get the first hit. Oh man, the JK hit, but doesn't get the knockdown. KTP instantly getting the knockdown gear, but a quick OTG burst from Fu. Doesn't want to deal with the Dolphin Vortex.
Yeah, no, just trying to keep KTP at bay here, making sure that there isn't any free Dolphin charge afforded to be able to close the distance. Good pressure off the tuner ball here, but the anchor falling down, catching a stray hit, set up quickly, but no major knockdown for KTP just yet, or combo to try and get a little bit more equalization on this health deficit.
The dead angle, yeah, not reaching. Wow, and there it is, Dolphin Vortex, we get to see it! This is what makes KTP so scary for so many of these players, having to deal with this. That was 2 unreactable high lows. Yeah, a little bit of a mistake with the IRC there, but yeah, just so many unreactable high lows into high damage you have to deal with just from 1 knockdown.
Still, Fu not deterred despite having the lead in the previous round, kicking things off already with a solid lead of his own. Interesting use of the dust there. Good IBs. Very scary for KTP, right? Just concedes to jumping, but a nice solid counter hit off that 6H. But not getting the knockdown there. KTP striking bad, making the most of it, putting him back in the blender.
Okay, but yeah, going for 6K, not quite fast enough to meet against the fast Toon 2P. And more IBs. Oh, is that gonna reach? But he was already a thing. It seemed like KTP was already kind of smelling that might happen.
That or the reactions are really on point, right? Seeing the IBs from Fu says thinking like this is going to be a pretty scary interaction point, so I'm just going to concede and jump and take it from there, but going to go into the Guts Crush Super, locking out Fu from that burst and taking that first game.
Yeah. Strong game for KTP there, even though it was the first round was in Fu's favor, but then KTP manages to bring it around, gets the Vortex started, and brings the first game to him. And now, yeah, we see more IBs from Fu, but think about IBs that also brings you out of blocks done faster.
Yeah, so you can be a bit more susceptible to things like command grab. Next to that, of course, right, is just how hard the risk gauge can start cranking up the more you IB. So for somebody like Fu who likes to do it on just about every normal, it is really fun for the tension pulls, but of course, if your opponent finds that opening, because look at that, right, it's already near halfway, and that's a ton of damage there for KTP.
Especially if you're going to be eating a Dolphin Vortex like this. We got Shinken loops.
Simple, beautiful, getting the pickup off the tuner ball, hanging right behind, and that mid-screen throw, but
this time KTP doing the OTG burst. And it works out. Set point for KTP. And definitely the neutral is a lot more comfortable for him here. It's a lot more his pace, right?
Yeah. Oh! Man, it really is just KTP constantly finding these danger states, and look at Fu immediately capitalizing off this half health, just eviscerated like that. The mortal counter setting up for the confirm. 2 Shinkens into the knockdown. One more touch should do it. Super Ball wants to mix up the dead angle covered, and yeah, OTG for the perfect.
7 golden letters, and you know what? Somebody has to shake it off and be like, that was a danger time round. Both of them have most of their bursts available, so they will be able to get out of a combo if they can find the burst point. But this is a lot of damage, right? And there's the burst point on the JD.
Yeah, Fu understanding that KTP is absolutely a menace once this knockdown started. So just to try and burst away, but ultimately finds himself back into the spot. The overhead kiss will lead to a nice group of damage, but the OTG there immediately YRC just take control back, but I think that caught the blitz tap there, so that might be the end for Fu. No, one more chance, but oh, yeah. Chip damage to close things out. KTP with that 2-0.
Yeah, and you can see how things are so different once KTP gets to actually access those knockdowns. That Oki game is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, nuts.
So good stuff to Fu. Getting quite far, but in 2 games, because Fu was also in plus R top 8.
Okay.
He was the Potemkin, had a game 3 against Elvin.
Okay.
But yeah, great stuff. Top 8 and plus R top 8 in this game, like amazing run. KTP will be moving on. And next up, we're going to have Elvin and Zwei. Faust and Johnny.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, Faust is, like, so talking about Zwei having a bit of trouble with the knockdowns, Faust, definitely one of those characters that Johnny in general just struggles with securing these Zwei-Kasu knockdowns. So I do hope that Zwei has a response for that, or an alternative, because especially in some of these tech interactions, Faust can reach from pretty far to try and challenge you. So the sword normals as sort of a range advantage isn't all too guaranteed into a character like Faust, and especially right with some of these item tosses that he can get going, he can really warp the neutral that can make it a chore for Johnny to actually operate as intended.
Yeah, exactly. If you're just as you said, if Zwei hasn't cleaned it up, this matchup in particular and this player matchup in particular could really be a thorn in his side, because yeah, Faust is a fellow top tier with also a lot of range, and then Elvin Shadow is a very experienced player in multiple gear games, and he will know how to take advantage of the fact that you are not finishing your plate. So he will be teching with Faust and getting getting advantages from things if you do not manage to get those knockdowns in him.
Yeah, and especially a character like Faust, right? Like, some of these Johnny combos really go to the top rope of the screen. So when Faust is allowed to tech out, he has that insanely long air dash just to try and swim away, bring it back to somewhere in the mid-screen. Really good dive options, and also air to ground solutions, right? The paper bag being dropped down, maybe going kind of a Hail Mary, but you could consider maybe like a really long range J2K if people get a little antsy trying to anti-air you.
He can stall with the SBCs also. Yeah, just lots of options from Faust if he gets the tech up there. You just don't want to deal with it. It seems like, I think those two are going to be diving right into it. No button check here.
This bump's being dealt, so both players locked in. Here's to see how the round start goes, right? If any player is going to concede or just immediately just try and challenge, use your range normal. But 2S catching the backdash there. Yeah, straight away, Elvin Shadow takes the space to start deploying the bomb. 2 bombs already.
Ooh, nice IB air throw, and already a level for Zwei. Pretty good start for him. But great counter hit for Elvin there. Not really messed up too much by the... Oh, actually, you know what, right, I say that. I guess counter hit by the 5-8.
I do like how Tricky try to keep it, right? Especially with that YRC slow down, see maybe if you catch an option, but yeah, Johnny notoriously difficult to burst. Trapped in the corner, this is why YRC catching Elvin Shadow an option. This time securing the knockdown, so a very great improvement to see here from Zwei.
Yeah, the thing about Johnny is that a lot of these combos to get these one-hit slides are a bit character-specific, so it could be that, like, Faust hurt box is the thing he needs right now.
If I'm not mistaken, he's just generally very wide in the air, so it
Yeah.
can cause that extra Swyhander hit to just push forward and hit where you least like it. But combo drop there coming out from Swynot, very, very scary. Immediately allowing for Elven Shadow to tech out, but Swy recovers instantly here. Doesn't get the knockdown, but still pushing on forward.
Red FTC stalls. Yep, everyone knows now at this point to block the bomb back close to Faust to force him to get hit by it if you can. And this is going to be a very good knockdown for Zly. We got the Bakusai. Ooh. And that's the Misminer.
Yeah, really trying to carefully play around that burst, but ultimately it didn't come to fruition. Nevertheless, right, it was very tricky for Elven Shadow to plan the next move, because just sitting there with the gun loaded, right, the higher level Misfinder, you could get caught at any time, especially when you try to item pump a quick rip of the K-Finder.
And the thing about Johnny is that, like, a lot of times, you know, even in these scrambles where he's, like, kind of not getting exactly what he wanted, he's, like, maybe messing up the knockdown a little bit, Johnny is so good that in that scramble, he could still kill you, right?
Right.
So in a lot of these situations, the Bakusai on, like, here, Elvin still getting the overheads, and this is looking like a really good round for Elvin right now.
Yeah, as long as he can keep him in the ground there. I think that was Meteors out there.
Yep.
Here comes the shower.
And there's like one more hit, what he needs,
Oh!
but that 2 hits Y. And like you were saying, yeah, now he's in the air, gets to put out the bomb bag, come down with a button, and that's going to secure the round for Elvin.
A lot of interactions afforded to the Faust character went in the sky. Trying to back away here, but all the same, Slide pushing forward to keep him trapped in the corner. Trying to look for that 6K, the bomb bag. Unfortunately, not getting the push for his catches, but let the Hail Mary J2K rip.
From the top rope. Oh my goodness, gets the bear throw, gets the levels! He messed up that combo and is now level 2.
Try to push forward, no! His explosion is barely catching.
Well, yeah.
Flying Delta, Elven Shadow here.
Misgauge how big that explosion will be. Look at side. It's touch. Okay, you got it.
Look at the Mega Faust just running across the screen here. At some point, Elven Shadow does need to keep in mind, right? He's going to come up on the interaction. A bunch of multi-hits thrown out, making sure to not have his combo be interrupted. Good link here, but did eat up a bit of food, so slight recovery.
Ooh,
Oh.
tricky. And another drop from Elvin this time, and that drop may have been devastating. Yes, it was.
Oh my god, Johnny Guts, right? Like, Elven Shadow really trying to delve into every last resource to try and find the finishing hit, but it just never came, and then down to interaction to go with the higher level Johnny on the Misfiners.
6P there. Oh, and that first not what Elvin needed right there. But the dust being strike in, letting him get through Johnny's meaty and get the hit. Oh, wow. A great presence of mind to J2K over the Megaton right there.
Absolutely. So stuck into the corner. We are chicken blocking just to minimize what kind of mix-ups we're facing, but the JD snipe here immediately into the extension. We do not get the knockdown.
Knocked out, and he snaps on with the FTCs, the bomb bags and more FTCs, and Zwei still gets the counter hit, and this might be enough. RRC, Bakusai, coin, yes. That's the checkmate.
Very, very clean, but still though, Zwei really troubling to see that the Zwei Kazu knockdowns aren't coming to fruition, but all the same, we have to respect how he's been able to scramble through these situations and still maintain on top of the situation, right? Getting the next interaction after that, so he may not be accessing the strongest Oki, but still getting the coins, getting the levels, getting the damage, and pushing on forward ever carefully. And also just, you know, maintaining a cool and calm collected read, seeing the FDC stalling in the air, so it's like, we'll just wait, and then strikes at the right moment with the JD counter. Yeah.
And Zlaya definitely, he will be the first to tell you, like, hey, I play a broken character. You know, a lot of us, we get mad sometimes, and Zlaya will be the first to be like, yeah, his character is a little insane. Knowing that, like, even when he messes up, he can still be on top with his character. All right, and I think, yeah, coming up, yeah, you know, Slashback is a great event, but we need to keep the lights on somehow. So, you know, we have a upcoming chain shift in SoCal, a tournament series that have a lot of games at chain shift in SoCal that it'd be great.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of lines to read for this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, Chain Shift out in SoCal. Early registration ending right after Slashback. So if you want to keep supporting some of these smaller events, make sure to actually just tap in there before the early reg ends. But as always, right, keep an eye out there to tap into some of these really big games here, right? We see some absolute mainstays that are out there in the wild, things like Tekken 8, Under Night, In Birth, Guilty Gear Strive, 2XKO, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and Fatal Fury. Also part of some tours there, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. And
All right.
furthermore, right, you might have seen them roaming around here, but Madhouse, the FGC traveling circus, being able to provide so much for events like these, right? Bringing the expertise along with the software, the hardware, the commentary, right? Just all around making sure to put on a show everywhere and anywhere you need, and all the while, right, keep on pushing the envelope to innovate and just expand what they can put on for something like fighting games. It's absolutely wonderful that their support is out here.
And then, yep, Slashback, we have our official merch here. This is a great event. We try to have it every year. If you want it to come back next year, grabbing some merch would be a great way to support us. You can buy a shirt. Everything is 15% off until April 21st. And we have some new colors and designs for 2026. Great designs here. Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that they didn't have anything in venue, because I definitely wanted to pick up a hoodie, and especially like the tees on the bottom left.
Yeah.
That's they got some really cool style going on here, right? Like a lot of events do just put their logo on, which is still very novel to have like a cool hoodie. But Slashback just that little extra effort there to put on a bit more personality into their clothing. So definitely check it out. Make sure to grab it before it all ends. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. And
So with that, we're also going to be taking a short break. So we'll be back in roughly 3 minutes. So don't go anywhere, as we got our top 4 of Guilty Gear Xrd coming back real soon. So stay tuned.
welcome back. Back with some more great extra action. Like, we've had some amazing sets already, and here we are going to be closing out the rest of the top 8. You know, it was quite a battle to get here, but not everyone can make it, you know. But the ones that are left is going to be even more insane.
Yeah, with our winners finals, you can already see we got Mendo and Pat the Flip, and you know, being in a finals match like this, they get to play it out first to 3, so a real long distance to kind of get a feel for how both players play out and try to get these adjustments going. Whereas KTP's Why Not sitting in the loser semis, right? They'll have to play that first to 2, so kind of business as usual so far. And then once we get into that losers finals or grand finals, we're going to start, you know, closing things out with only first to 3 games there on out.
Yep. And these two, no strangers to each other, two local NorCal homies, play each other several times. Locals, online, regionals, Slashback, like these, you know, they know what's up. All of us here have had to contend with Mendo, and I know Pat the Flip is, you know, very wary of what can happen, but we are here to, you know, rise above what usually happens when we fight against Mendo. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see how much of a player matchup is going to be the factor here, because between these two characters, right, Pat the Flip, as always, playing the chip, going to be very, very mobile and hard to lock down. But if Mendo can get a solid touch, right, we've seen, not on Pat the Flip specifically, but some of these combo videos, right, with just Slayers completely blowing up, talking about Bears getting that danger time into just one touch.
Another local NorCal chip.
Oh, there you go.
So, we know Mendo knows this matchup really well. It's always going to be an uphill battle. And right, already, while we're talking, the first round is already gone. Pat trying to do what he can to keep Mendo back, but yeah, getting hit again. All right, great counter hit 2D there.
Push on forward here, finds the throw, gets the knockdown, looking for the vortex, but unfortunately lets Mendo slip with that backdash. Now trapped in the corner to the power bunker, connecting into the air. We're gonna let that burst rip, right? Already a round lead, so you don't have any other chances left, but Mendo on the chase, finds yet another throw, a second one.
Yeah,
Grappler at heart.
you can see that Mendo just seemed like he just already knows what option to go for. Like, it goes beyond just the character mechanism at this point. He's like he knows already kind of the player habits. Pat's gonna have to figure out a way to mix up how he usually plays to, you know, surprise Mendo here, right? Oh my! As I'm saying that, he just is so ready.
Yeah, like they were really patient, just trying to look at each other from a distance across the screen, but even then, Mendo was chilling out. So blitz tap a little unfortunate. Pat the Flip getting him punished air to air, but no major confirmed yet, or a knockdown for that fact. But
great air
let's get the air throw there off the YRC, and now we're going to start seeing a little bit of that vortex we're used to from Chip.
Right.
Beautiful bait on the blitz, but that's the burst from Mendo.
Yeah, if someone can realize what's happening and mix things up, it's definitely Pat. Yep, great beta match out the beta blade there, and you know what? Possibly can get this round here with one more hit. Oh, scary. He's dead from that. The counter hit Mappa Hunch in the 5K.
Very, very big there for Mendo. Now moving forward for the lead, the burst situation, getting a little closer there for Pat the Flip to get it active and get that one more do-over. Trying to challenge there on the under pressure. Pushing on forward, the knockdown, but still nothing too solid. Mendo slipping out, immediately trying to interact, finds an opportunity to get this knockdown off the throw. Ooh, interesting anti-step.
Yeah, Pat's going to be a lot more proactive here, a lot of matching, and then the Gamma Blade YRC still in the corner blocking okay. Manages to escape, gets a hit, knockdown.
Oh, held it in this time, bringing it all the way into the corner.
Yeah.
Trying to challenge, you know, at least for Chip, he has that really, really fast 5P, so especially with an IB on the under pressure, Mendo does have to concede that.
Yep. Alright, gets the knock out. Okay, first, Mendo does not want to concede that hit, and this is going to kill. And Mendo up 2-0.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough one to adapt to against, because these rounds are going by pretty quick, and I think especially Mendo has kept it pretty simple. There hasn't been sort of too many crazy options he's been leveraging on Slayer that is something that Pat the Flip can directly call out. He's just been out neutraling in essence, right? Getting really, really solid counter hits and just exploding that Chip health bar.
Yeah. And again, also, it's like the player matchup is so tough because, again, like, Mendo has so much experience fighting a lot of us Ooh, this time that Pat retreating, gets the JV counter hit, but doesn't quite get the knockdown. Push first from Damendo.
Going forward, very difficult to kind of see where Pat the Flip is on this invisibility, but Damendo doing the most, teleporting around, saying like, you can't see me, folks. Just constantly disappearing. Gold burst, getting a lot of stick of, ooh, big out and look at him just pushing all the way to the other side of the screen. Trying to maximize the damage here, pushing us forward as far as possible, but Damendo usually waking up with a close slash challenge.
Somehow recognized that wasn't going to be immediate hitting him. Oh my goodness. Oh, and that's going to put Damendo on set point. And Pat dig deep here.
Already pushing it forward quite excessively there to try and maximize, especially on that Alpha Blade follow-up hit. But now already Damendo getting a few touches in at the Flip, contending back, looking to see if he can get that next knockdown. But Endo is not giving up too many opportunities. YRC throw. Can we find that full weight? No, just pushing a little too far there.
And the thing is, because Paz is doing a lot of Gamma Blade YRC and Teleport YRC, his Tension Pulse right now is shot. He doesn't have any meter after all this time. Only gets 25 now. Air throw too late. And yeah, Damendo takes that 3-0. Yeah, a little not happy with how quick that went by. Yeah, he kind of shored up the neutral a lot with Gamma Blade YRC and Teleport YRC, and that can cover your ass like temporarily, but the problem is your tension gain is now shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're really having to spend a lot of bar, like you say, to just try and navigate around this, it's really going to diminish your opportunities to find a lot of damage. But I guess for Chip, it's not too bad, right? Because a lot of the times he just needs to be able to loop these knockdowns and find these four-ways and just get you with these death by 1,000 cuts. So in general, right, just going for teleports, YRCs, just get these air throws in, or maybe a blitz tap here and there to challenge on Damendo's pressure is the way to go. Like Chip, I feel like he's kind of chill when it comes to like meter usage. Because like he can kind of just blow through it, whereas for Damendo, he really needs that 50 quite a lot, especially for the once in a while big gamble power bunker to just make sure you can cover yourself if it does get blocked out.
Right. And next up, we're going to have Zwei and KTP, Johnny and May. You know, we've said it many times already this top 8 that like these players can capitalize right on not getting his knockdowns, right? But Zwei is winning. So we're gonna see what KTP does, you know, with this information that he's been seeing watching these sets.
Yeah, because that might actually be the next thing, right? Like, with a public display of your performance out here in the top 8 of a bracket, seeing you making a ton of mistakes on just getting these knockdowns might embolden somebody to go like, oh, wait, hold on. Zwei might be having a bit of an off day here, so I can brute force a bit harder in these situations, whereas typically I should be knocked down, I should be holding this Y Vortex. So we'll see if KTP does want to try and rely on that. Probably is going to let one situation go to see, okay, does Zwei have these Zwei Kosu knockdowns, or is it still looking a little shaky, and what's the play going to look like after a failed attempt to secure the knockdown? And as well as that, right, KTP has been shoring up a bit of the Oki, but, you know, that's the one time we saw it against Fu. So is it going to be as reliable here into Zwei is going to be the next question.
You see here, Zwei and KTP they're trying to bargain what they're going to put for the map in the song. If I were, I'm not going to lie, if I were KTP, I would just have picked. I'd be like, I chose my character first. It's me, man.
It's me. We know how it goes. We know where our characters are on the screen. Hurry up with the race.
All right. Ooh, the S-Pioneer anti-air. The Dolphin anti-air giving KTP a full combo, but the OTG has let him get Oki started.
Yeah, good push block out there with the FD, but also the aggressive burst. KTP understands that the best situation is to try and keep Johnny locked into this corner without his levels on the table. So putting him in a defensive situation is to your advantage.
Yeah, and you keep trading places, and again, the Nsenga overhead. KTP has been getting paid off that overhead. So unexpected. You don't expect it. It doesn't usually hit even crouchers, but in that block string, I think it fuzzies, and it's definitely opening people up.
Just like that, able to get a much greater amount of damage here. The knockdown of the Asenga working, setting up the Oki. Is he ready for the shoot the J? Low profiles underneath it, but wasn't too ready for the confirm thereafter. But finds the slide, the red RC, and that is going to be the first round going to KTP. And as a reminder, right, this is loser semi, so not a whole lot of opportunities for these players to go back and forth, playing it out first to two.
Yeah. And with these two characters especially, they're both so high damage, they're not going to have a lot of time to adapt before we see right here is why I think that a large combo into a knockdown. This is going to be the Vortex right here. Okay, but testing out, see what Zwai's option was, maybe seeing if he can do a backdash.
Ooh, good catch there with the 5K. Unfortunately, not able to get the full combo there. KTP trying to just bounce around, making sure to not get caught by these anti-airs, but why not? This is why YRC to extend fully into this combo. The knockdown is secured, going for the OTG coins, and there it is. The level 3 P-Finder snipe. Unfortunately, not able to get too much after there. Dead angle, KTP trying to make a comeback happen here. Both players with the first available, gets the air throw.
And, you know, letting KTP live like that could actually be devastating because May, dealing with her in the corner can be very dangerous, but managed to secure the round with a far slash. Still has the larger buttons.
I do like that from Zwei, right? At a low health, even getting hit by the Dolphins, says, you know what, I'm just going to challenge. Because the worst case is we go next game, right now, right, I need to conserve this burst as we go into the final round. The burst already used here by KTP, and Zwei just hammering down with this pressure, able to get a nice counter hit and a solid amount of damage. Zwei cost is secured, the knockdowns are shaping up, and again.
It's going to be the round. Are we going to see an IK? Yes, we are. And
Oh! Hold on. Oh,
now,
there it is.
If you're not familiar, because you haven't been around here, if you're not familiar, Zwei, yes, gave him the card. Zwei is known for his IKs. He loves IKing people, and he carries around a deck of Joker cards, the ones that Johnny has, to give to people when he IKs them. You can see he's laughing here. This is his stick.
It's a really cool gimmick. I would almost feel like for some people, you just take that deck and you put it on the table there as like just a little sign of aura.
Don't let too many people hear you call it a cool gimmick, but we've eaten too many IKs for this.
Alrighty, KDP trying to make sure to not let that get to him. He's usually pressing on forward, but why not? Just sliding on forward, being able to grab and secure. Oh, no knockdown though, but immediately making sure to challenge on these situations. Trying to go for the blitz tap here, looking maybe to see if KTP is trying to take advantage of these execution errors.
Ooh, man, okay, close slash. Zwei doesn't go for his edge airs, but it's pretty low commitment, so doesn't get punished for whipping the close slash. And now gets the Zwei in 5K. And now is on set point. And you know what? This set has been clean. He's been hitting the one his lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Good throw break there. Both players just trying to challenge here one another. KTP easily take it to the sky, especially now that Zwei is without that higher level misfinder, so it's going to be a lot harder to just snipe from a greater distance.
Somehow Zwei escaped that corner without even having to block anything. That was very interesting. Ooh, with a counter hit there, but May can't really confirm off of that. Not without meter.
Ooh. Bouncing around, trying to make sure to adjust, but unfortunately finds himself into the corner. Zwei with the IBs, but yeah, good catch. A lot of meter to play with as well here. Nice extension, Senga knockdown, and it should, oh, red RC, what we're looking for here. God's Crush Super, and that is going to be KTP tying up the rounds here. Next round is going to be key to put one on the board and tie up the set.
Yep, does he survive or does Zwei win the set here? We're going to find out.
Zwei pushing out forward here to the IBs, but little catch there from KTP. Air confirmed. Unfortunately, isn't able to route him all the way into the corner of the burst, just barely able to catch Zwei there.
Yeah, very risky burst there, but it pans out. And Zwei still has his burst. We'll see if he needs to use it. Oh, the YRC dev level 2. Alright, it's going to be a little rough here. Life totals are about even, but KTP is blocking in the corner, and the whip 6K! We've all been there before. Barely any recovery on that. Zwei stealing his turn, and this is going to hurt. We're not going to see another wire. Okay.
Okay, burst super. He had the yellow IK ready to go, but it's... Oh, hold on, OTG.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, okay.
But that closes it out.
He's surprised.
He's like, wow.
Oh, that worked? Alright, well. Zwei keeping the run alive, taking the moment in, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah. This is definitely basking in the moment right now. I know another classic here. Zwei and Pat. You know, like I said before, Zwei came up to NorCal when he was going to school, so he basically raised him, and and we all had to watch him go from learning a kid to just better than most of us.
It's the youth potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's been great. We love Zwei. It's great to see like him on the stage now, like doing so well, showing the world how good Johnny is.
Right.
Had a bit of a lull in Johnny players at one point, but now we have him here in California showing the world how good. And then him and Yosagi definitely like two of the upfront Johnnies in America.
Yeah, very, very cool to see. I mean, like, for all the strengths that Johnny possesses, right? Ultimately, it isn't a character that lets you win for free, right? You do need to sit down, put in the hard work and dedication, and you can even see, right, somebody who is as experienced, right, and as prepared to just set you up for these IKs, dancing around with a deck of cards. Even he, at a moment like Slashback top 8, is having some slight execution errors where you can see that there are going to be weaknesses on this Johnny character where you can exploit and find your ways through. So we'll see if Pat the Flip can tap into that and try and keep his own run alive, right? Because this is the losers finals. Both players vying to try and face off against Daymendo, hanging out there in grand finals.
Right, but off to a good start for Zwei here. He's already got levels. Which is the next good hit. Oh, what's the beta blades? But Pat keeping the momentum up. Quick burst from Zwei. And similar to a previous set, like these two kind of have the state of having a lot of knowledge about each other. Being people have played each other a lot. So Pat this time definitely like kind of running the show, kind of keeping the pace in his favor.
Why not pushing forward here? Big counter hit.
Oh,
Nice confirm with it as well. And bringing Pat the Flip all the way into the corner. The Zwei costume is secured. The OTG dancing around now. Able to catch Pat the Flip, trying to chicken block out of that situation. The FD's letting a rip, but that's an expensive Zwei. And immediately Pat the Flip finds an opportunity to challenge back.
Good see there. Now, Pat pressuring Zwei in the corner again. Oh, good jump on the leaf grab, but leaf grab doesn't have much recovery, so he dodged by jumping. You still have to deal with the 6P on the way down. Yeah, a little, you're a little annoyed by that, but yeah, that's the thing with leaf grab. You have to basically hit it or try to leave. If coming back down, it means you might get anti-aired.
Zwei not unfortunately whipping that burst, so being put in a pretty dire state. Having to go the long distance back to get that burst on the table, and Pat the Flip is absolutely making the most of the situation where it doesn't have to fear the do-over button.
Catching the double backdash doesn't quite get a lot out of it. Yeah, Pat is, the way Pat's moving is making it hard for Zwei to confirm, but alright, here, drops the confirm again.
I think he might be fishing for the burst bait though. Hard to say, but in this case, we're going to keep it nice and burst safe, looking for the meter crank there, and yeah, that is going to be around a piece to both players, but considering for Zwei not a whole lot of burst gate recovery, so is still going to be able to get it in this round, but Pat the Flip having it off the rip, can try to deny the momentum that Zwei built up.
Yeah, although Zwei did just get a good chunk of damage here already. Oh man, and it's hard to burst Johnny, right? Even though you have it, like where can you do it safely and know for sure it's gonna work? So right now, I've taken so much damage already. Oh, that's okay. For a quick burst from Pat, that has to be it.
Nice, good catch, but man, look at the life deficit. There's so much for Pat the Flip to work back from, and yeah, okay, 2S catching there, and that is Zwei not taking the lead here, but still Pat the Flip has a bit of room to work with here, playing it out first to 3, so can take at least one more loss, which is all information that he should be collecting in how he's going to plan his next set of moves and hopefully secure some wins.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Zwei before, but Pat, he's been playing this game for such a long time. He knows a thing or two about recognizing like the state of the game, the state of the mentality of the players, and understanding how he needs to try to change the pace. So we'll see if he can adapt to deal with this onslaught happening right now.
Right, good challenge though. Ooh, the backdash, able to avoid the JS there, right? That extra little float to just try and catch you with that overhead when you least expect it. Slide pushing forward, trying to find that last touch, especially with the risk gauge cranked up so high. I don't know if that was from the risk itself or just a bad play from Pat the Flip, but a beautiful counter hit confirmed here from Zwei. The final mix, good blocks, but a far slash catching you, just trying to slip away. Set, or no, not set points. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. Up another round here. Pat tried to, wow, great backdash, and Johnny's busted backdash coming into play there. Will Pat manage to get the hit?
Patience there, Gamma Blade just trying to concede the distance, but it's still going to be Pat the Flip pushing Zwei into the corner, but the dash forward. And unfortunately, Pat the Flip does teleport himself into this corner situation. When is he going to decide to let this burst rip, right? Especially with the round lead that Zwei has here. He needs to count his opportunities sparingly, but like they're starting to slip away.
Yeah. Okay, there he does it. He could have been air thrown there, but oh my God.
No, hold on. The Gamma Blade pushing on forward, trying to FD, create a little bit of space. 6K challenge doesn't quite catch, but the far slash thereafter into the misfires. Why not? That 2-0 lead right now.
Yeah, definitely something that's been kind of happening a bit this game is Pat is trying to be pretty proactive. It's kind of like trying to chase Zwei down and is running into normals or into backdash, like running into Johnny 2S, running into Johnny backdash counterattack, and definitely kind of, you know, working against him that he has to be the one running it down against Zwei. We'll see how it develops going into this game 3. Yeah, see here, you see he air dashes in, trying to chase down, and he gets air thrown out of it, which he's doing okay now, but Johnny has a level, I think, so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very tricky indeed. JD, the knockdown secured, but play it really carefully. Does find a good run up here. Able to put Zwei not into the corner of the burst. Decides to cut the momentum right there.
Ooh, okay. The level's out, didn't confirm it, so now we're back to an okay game state. No confirm because level 1.
So you're lucky, but there it is. The air throw, bring him into the corner, catches him in the air.
The backside.
We got the mid-screen confirmed. No, not quite. Didn't delay that close slash enough, but here's the next hit. Trying to go for the guts crash. Doesn't quite find it yet, but oh!
Yep, the walk-up close slash throw OS.
Scary as always. Big counter hit here. Bring him all the way into the corner. Why not? Getting close to that burst, though.
Yeah, after getting paid off of with Alpha Plus this weekend. All right, good knockdown, good damage. All right, we got the kunai Onki, very dirty, very strong. And this one more hit's going to do it. And the run-up throw, 7 golden letters. Seems like Pat has recovered, feeling himself a little bit. Zwei taking a moment to think, and
oh my God, that's a mischievous grin.
Yeah, like I was saying before, Zwei definitely one of our more passionate players.
Okay, Transport getting caught there with the 5 feet. Pat the Flip still in control. The knockdown here. 6K connects. That's going to be the burst. Why not? Has seen enough. Needs to start finding these points, right? These level ups.
Interesting to note, that 6K won't lead to a combo, right?
Yeah, but he just doesn't like the momentum that Pat the Flip's been building up.
That's true, yeah. It does say a lot about the mental state of the game right now, but we got a throw from Zwei and the quick burst from Pat.
Oh, good block on the bonsai. There's the punish.
Counter hit recovery. Has to be a lot of damage for Zwei. It's the knockdown. Lots of meter from both sides here. Oh! As I'm saying, both of them blow their meters. But Zwei coming out on top with that. Air dash overhead. And this is Zwei on set point.
Long last here. Both players getting close to their burst active here. Pat the Flip a little further along.
JD counter hit. Oh, misses his air dash. That was supposed to be air dash JD.
That's very unfortunate there for Pat the Flip, but still has a health lead here. Able to get the trade with the coin off the Gamma. Still level up for Slide immediately, making it work.
How many times have we been foiled by backdash 5K? And now Pat's here blocking Zwei. Oh, air dash. This is hurting so badly. Pat does have burst, but Zwei has 25 meter. Oh my God, where do you burst here? Zwei's keeping it. Oh, the goal burst.
Really key here is Unzen Rogar. RC straight away into J2K. so close to his face. Able to get the teleport throw here. The gold burst in response there from Zwei not going.
No way.
Oh!
Why? Yes. Zwei bringing out his gimmick for the very end of that set. Something he loves to do is to charge treasure hunt like that. And, you know, either Roman cancel it like he just did here, or sometimes he'll go for that cross up. If you half charge it around mid stage, it can actually hit you cross up.
Right, okay, okay.
And he loves going for that.
It's definitely a really good trick to pull out as like the final interaction when
Yes.
you just need to secure that hit. So very cool for Zwei not to have that. But now the big challenge coming up here, right? Mendo.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten through this whole bracket, and Zwei, you know, was coming up to the loser side, was having a rough start, but has actually managed to clean up his game now, right? And now he's here. He's made it here to grand finals. Like, he's here.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey and like a very concerning opening, but like you said, cleaned up the act, is now looking really solid, and especially into a character like Slayer, you do not want to give any extra opportunities, right? You want to lock that character down, never let him see the light of day. Even though he might be a vampire, right? Doesn't really want to see sunlight all too much.
Something I gotta point out, you know, Pat and Aaron wouldn't let me live it down if I didn't point out. This is a WrestleMania run back.
Okay.
These two fought. It was a very close set. In that WrestleMania run back, Zwei almost beat Damendo.
Okay.
He was up. Damendo was actually getting messed up. And then in the last game, Damendo does what he always does. He made the download and just ran it all the way back to beat Zwei. And since then, you know, that this run back has been a long time coming.
All right, so let's hope that Zwei does have, in fact, you know, can secure that win, because for the position that he's in, right, coming in from the loser side, Mendo has a lot of room to secure that download. Okay, conversion already showing off that these Zwei Kasus are looking good, but Mendo still able to slip out, find his interaction point. A little mix up there, but dash forward, close slash. That's going to be the first round going to Mendo.
This is what I live for, man. You see Zwei, you know, trying to check the space, and Damendo is content to sit back and observe what just happened.
Feels the aura right there. Fortunately, a little bit of an execution error, so not able to capitalize off that Zwei RC, but Mendo. Oh!
At the air throw. Nice throw on the Dandy. It's gonna be a knockdown. Zwei. The block. Okay, 100 meters spent, but spent pretty well, I'd say. He's getting the hit.
Yep. Force your turn back, but low slash. Catching the air dash there. Zwei set up with a nice bit of damage once again. Carrying the Zwei toss. We're down to our last coin though. The back dash able to avoid the Zwei YRC, but he's still stuck in the corner. Nevertheless, Mendo leaves the situation, dashing on forward. Very scary, and getting that 5 HS with punish there with the throw.
Oh, and that's just what Zwei needed. Not only does he get the round, but now going into round 3 with no burst per day against Johnny.
Massive. Absolutely incredible to see here. 6K catching Mendo. Unfortunately, doesn't quite secure the knockdown. Still spending a few coins here. Needs to find that level up sooner than later, but a big power bunker here. Gonna put him into the corner. The bites.
Right, okay. Maxed out fast enough. Oh. Nice, okay. Backdash doesn't get punished. Gets the level, so the next hit could pay off, but he has to get it before he dies.
Oh! Big, actually, this is a really big opener here for Zwei, right? The red RC on the Zwei Kasu, giving a ton of damage, right? It's the kind of thing he needs to hear to make this comeback happen with the life deficit that he's found himself in. Once again, securing the knockdown, but be aware, Mendo does have a bit of meter to play with here, so mind your options, and immediately just retrieve the full screen, but he catches it!
Is he dead?
Not quite yet, needs one more interaction. YRC, 5K hitting from behind. The burst!
Oh, but I think it was gold burst. I think there was no punish.
Oh.
The backdash 5K, ever present. Wow, what a scramble at the end there. I think a bit of nerves came in. I think he could have killed, but like, you know,
Yeah.
grand finals of this major against Damendo, like, you know, many of us would be
Yeah.
having some drops here. But cleaning up, getting in the first game, on his way to trying to get a reset.
Unfortunately, mistiming the overhead there, but nevertheless, in control of the pressure. Good blocks there. So why not? Daemendo getting caught with the low there. We have to push up some damage as well. Let's push him into the corner, but I don't know if he wasn't confident. Oh, wow.
The read, the straight down dandy, reading he's going to be anti-air at that moment.
Oh,
Double cross up. You wouldn't think I would put myself back in the corner, did you?
Surely not. Evil, evil, evil. And, like, maybe we might see this a little down the line, right? Because, of course, Daemendo has that final option in the chamber, as always, right? So cross up, B dot. But as so far, right, hasn't been needed to delve into such options just yet.
Yeah. As far as his layers go, Daemendo doesn't usually dip into that well as much as, say, Crocs. But he does definitely know it's an option. So you do still have to worry about it, all the same. Oh, man. J8.
Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Wake up coin. Willing to call out that an anti-step might be coming here. Bait on the dead angle. The chip damage to close things out here. So Daemendo fighting back, tying up the set. But, you know, Swai needs to be careful of the space that he gives to Daemendo, right? There isn't a whole lot of games left. He needs to find this reset. Yes. Point catching the approach there from Daemendo. Should be able to secure this Waikasu. Not forward here to maintain pressure. The coin catching, but the burst able to catch level 3, so it's a really expensive drop there.
And then Dave also managing to call out that held stance from like half screen with the K-Mappa. Oh, wow. Wake up close slash. I do have to wonder why he was doing that. Zwei getting it with the Zwei wire C, but doesn't get the knockdown. Misses the one hit.
Oh, the bite reset. Dashing on through.
Misses the throw. I think Peter went for the full dash through.
Oh, same side. Tricky to deal with here. Gets the dust extension, and Daemendo keeps pushing on forward, right? The first situation too hot here for Why Not as well, so gotta be careful to not suffer too much damage before it comes back online.
Again, just opting to hang back and see what Zwei does. And he got a coin out of it. Zwei spent a coin, has 2 coins, nothing happening.
Oh.
And Day is good. Look at this meter. Look how much meter he's got already.
Yeah, just constantly anti-stepping is allowing him to build a ton of resources here. Doesn't quite hit the Suikasu, the JS hitting on all sides there. Now, with the install ready to go, the next special gonna get counter hit, but
100 meters.
it just expired though, but sends it into the dot. RC?
Dead, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Built up all that meter, and the next hit was death. And yeah, Zwei trying to think about what's going on, because clearly, like, he's being read right now the way Day is playing.
Yeah.
He's got to...
Where we're looking. Thinking, what are you thinking about?
Heaven or hell.
They happy to play the mental game with Zwei here.
Yeah, and all the same, right? It's still good to see that Zwei hasn't lost his whimsy despite the gravity of the situation.
Yes, you love to see it. At the end of the day, we're all friends having fun here. That's why we love to get together at these majors like this.
Oh! Yeah, trying to cash out as much unburstable damage as possible down to that final interaction and the blitz bait, putting Daemendo on tournament point here.
Tournament point.
Check there, but Daemendo wins. Oh, okay.
Maybe a misinput, who knows? But Zwei bursting himself to get Day off of him. Oh wow, a blitz. Okay, catches the dandy. Okay.
Good check of the spacing there. Gonna keep the knockdown pretty simple. Give up
Yeah, that
5K.
Definitely a very simple knockdown. Oh man, the fight. Okay, counter hit.
Oh, look at the movement there, but Why Not coming out on top? Gonna be spending that RC to get an extension right off that level 1 misfinder.
Exactly. Man, these scrambles are, definitely, Zwei's nice to come out on top in a lot of these scrambles here. Oh, but this, wait a second. Okay, I think you got one more. I think, wait.
He should have one more. Yeah, one more in him. Pressure coming out, and
Right through the 5K! And the critical moment at the end, Zwei definitely tried to go for that button we all know. From Johnny and Daemendo, dash through it, going into the audience. Great stuff. What a great set. Daemendo does it for the 4th time.
the reigning champion.
The reigning champion.
Oh my goodness. And yeah, this is, that was quite the breakdown there of his opponent. Starting to really get spicy all out and dancing around. So, it's immaculate stuff. final opponent was a very, very tough contest. Did what he could to maximize the scramble positions, but it's still Slayer at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's still Slayer at the end of the day, and Damon one of the best to ever do it. But like, man, what a weekend for Extra. Like, the pools, top 24, top 8, these were amazing sets.
Yeah.
Everyone bringing their A game. It's so amazing to see so many people in and out of the region make it down. And to culminate in this is like, it's always amazing to see every time.
Yeah, absolutely right. It doesn't have to just be majors, right? Regionals can just show off a very high level of, quality across games, right? I think in general, these brackets have all around been super, super stacked. Not only just Exert, but everything else being run here at Slashback. So don't sleep on your regionals.
Yeah. If you want to play Exert, game has rollback. Hop on. We have a lot of beginner brackets. We have online tournaments. We have Rev Tuesday. Pat the Flip is on stage here. He runs Rev Tuesday. We have TXT. We have Only Mids for beginners. We have NKO for beginners. Plenty of events and resources for anyone who wants to get in the game out here.
I got shout out Rookie Roman cancel then, right? Out in the EU, but they do let some of the EC folks out. Not quite this crowd maybe, but if you're still trying to get started with Guilty Gear Xrd, right, definitely check them out if you're in EU or in the EC region.
Yep.
But I think we're just seeing all the players getting gathered up there, so I'm going to hand it off over to the MC there to just announce the top 8 winners and give them their prizes.
I'm going to have Stride after this.
Yeah, so the action still doesn't stop at Slashback, so Exert may be over, but if any of these other games suit your fancy, don't leave just yet. Still plenty more ahead of us. Strive, a few other games left as well, and that is going to be a very, very fun weekend coming to a close, but just not just yet.
And I think, I believe GC Yoshi is in top 8 for that game. I'll have to check later. But it's like we had 3 people from Plus R top 8 in this Extra top 8.
Yes.
And more overlap. We have 1 person from this Extra top 8, I believe, in the Strive top 8. So it's going to be, you have if you like Bedman, the action for him doesn't stop.
Yeah, and Strive is definitely a very interesting state. It's a really cool bracket to see here, especially 2 days after their really big patch. So not a lot of people were prepared. Yeah. But compare that to the likes of Exer and some of the other games being run here, right? They're done. This is it. So this is as good as it gets. So take your time. A lot of resources out there. Don't lose on character select screen if that's going to make you really mad, right? So look at Zwei. He, I would say, made a pretty good decision to go for Johnny. But, of course, if any of the other characters really suit your fancy, you can see, the likes of Leo having its weak points. Or just Bedman, right? Bedman. And here's GC Yoshi, like we said, top 8ing. So the characters may have its weaknesses, but a game like Exert is so closely knit in the skill level, right? Some will rise above the others, but you can put in so much work on a player level that you can overcome and start really tapping into why a lot of these matchups only go to 6-4 at most.
Yeah. The awards now.
All right, so with that, as promised, top 8 awards kicking off. The MCs ready to congratulate these players. All right, more chatting.
So, yeah, you were mentioning before about characters. So one thing we have noticed, especially with the rise of rollback post-pandemic, is that a lot of these characters actually have gotten improvements in the meta.
Yes.
A big one is Answer. Answer.
Yes. That's a really important one. Yeah.
Yeah. Was regarded as low tier pre-pandemic, possibly bottom tier, and then rollback comes around. We have some strong Answer players showing the tech, and suddenly it's whoa, this character is actually really strong.
Yeah. I mean, I think to add to that, right? Answer was a severely underrepresented character when Rev2 dropped, because a lot of people did switch to Baiken because it was their plus R main. They're like, finally, I can play Baiken. Answer is completely fresh and new, so a lot of people would consider, why would I make the switch to Answer when I've dedicated so many years to my main in Xrd and maybe from before in XX, right?
And then 2.1 nerfed him.
And then they nerfed him. But then with the rollback patch, right, it introduced a new wave of players who just looked at the screen fresh, right? They didn't have this history with the Guilty Gear series to say, I need to pick my mains that I saw that have been playing for years. So they gave Answer a chance. So that's why you get to see him a lot more these days. But I think finally we're good to hand it off now to the MC to congratulate the players and give them their awards.
All right, was that not a hype top 8 or what? My goodness. All right, tied for 7th, we have GC Yoshi 13. He let the voices win today. And also tied for 7th, give it up for Kate. And tied for 5th, we got Boo. And also tied for 5th, we have Alvin Shadow. All right, and then in 4th, we got KTP. And in 3rd, the Smokage himself, Pat the Flip. And in 2nd, the valiant effort. Give it up for Why Not? And you know that means that there was only one result the future refused to change. Your 4-time Slashback Guilty Gear Exert Rev2 champion, Dang Nando! Please once again give it up for your Exert Rev2 top 8! All right, thank you to Slashback for having us. This is only the 2nd top 8 for today. We got plenty of more, so don't go anywhere. Thank you all for coming. I'm gonna hand it back to Treble.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for coming for Guilty Gear Exert. I've been playing this game for a while now, and it's a joy to run this for you guys and girls. So thank you so much. All right. We have one way we like to end it here in NorCal, and we like to keep that tradition going. So I want to hear y'all in the crowd join with us. So Joy, you want to start us off? How do we do this?
Exert, y'all know what it is. You gotta do 3 things. You gotta love your life, be good to one another, and play. We out. Woo!
Now I'm gonna hand it over to Dennis. He has a really cool announcement. I think y'all will wanna take a listen.
Mic check, how we doing? Okay. Hey everyone, so I was not planned to be up here. For those of you who know them, Contra and Jade were trying to make this event, but unfortunately some things came up. Y'all got me instead for this. We have been working on something. It's a little bit different. It's taken us a while to get here, but we're happy to show you what's coming up. Production, y'all. Let's roll it.
Took a little journey to the unknown. And I come back changed, I can feel it in my bones.
So, Cabinet in the Woods. It's going to take place about 30 minutes outside of Portland, Oregon. It always surprises me how many people don't know this, but I'm actually from PNW. So I'm very happy to welcome everyone to where we're going to be at. I'm proud of our scene. I'm proud of our region. We would love to have you all here for this. There's going to be one thing that I know a lot of you Exerd folks are going to notice too. The name is Cabin in the Woods. For those of you who remember, Ryudo used to run this event back in the day. He has given us the blessing to run this name, and we're hoping to carry some of the spirit of that event over there, which means welcome you all to the scene, welcome you all to the area. Whether you're looking to compete, just play hella casuals, or just vibe with us, please consider this event. Registration opens in June. It's going to take place at the end of September. This is a little bit of a different event, so check out our Start.gg. It's start.gg/cabin. We have an FAQ there with more details. Once again, that's start.gg/cabin. That's it, everyone. I just want to thank you for your time. We got Strive coming up. Thank you all for being here. No matter what you want to play, just keep on playing it, y'all. Keep it up. Thanks, everyone.
Well, with that, Guilty Gear Exerd has finally come down to a close. I've been Yucker. Joining me has been Perfectly Babalu. It's been a pleasure working with you. And if you have anything else to say, we're going to be handing it over to Strive in a bit.
Yep, and you know what you gotta do. You heard the announcer say it earlier. We want you to love your life, be good to one another, and play some motherfucking Guilty Gear.